Quick question. If I copy a phrase from my work mail and I'm pasting it to ChatGPT asking to make it nice, it will of course work. But is it safe?
It depends on what you paste, right? So, if you like, the short version is sometimes that single paste can leak more than people realize.
Yeah, exactly. Today, we're going to focus on one thing, what not to do when it comes to AI tools at work.
No fear mongering, just practical, simple rules you can follow from tomorrow morning.
Yes. Welcome to Aprender Podcast. I'm Udara. Of course, you will find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and every other podcasting platform, mostly on YouTube. When it comes to like YouTube podcasting, Spotify podcasting, you name it, you call it, we are there. Catch us on every platform available. Also, we are doing our short clips versions on YouTube and Twitter also.
Yep. So today episode is about using AI safely at work, specifically the common mistakes people make with ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and there are lots of AI tools, right? So let's get to it.
Yes. Aibo.
The mic came into my hand.
Okay, Kanishka, before we start with what not to do, what are the things that we can do with the term of using AI safely?
So for this episode, safe means three things. So one is do not leak sensitive information. Another one is not do not create legal or policy trouble for your workplace, and do not make decision based on wrong outputs.
Okay, so basically it's not just hackers and tech people, right? It's everyday office work or everyday office behavior, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we write emails, we ask ChatGPT or Gemini to summarize meeting notes, prepare reports, and translating content. Or also we request them to draft slides as well, right? So that's where a lot of mistakes happen.
Yes, but don't get us wrong. We are not asking you to don't use AI at work. Please do. Please use AI at work, right?
Yeah. So like we're saying, use it like a public place, like not like a private place, even though you have private access, other people don't have access, but use it like, consider it like a private public space, right? If you would not say it in a crowded cafe, don't paste it into a tool.
Okay, that's a good start. So let's talk about that. That's like the biggest one. What to paste and what not to.
So we first we discuss like what is safe, not safe, right? So first thing is like do not paste confidential information into AI tools because people underestimate what counts as confidential.
Okay, so I actually not quite got that point. So can you like explain that in simple language?
Customers name, right? So when most of the people, right, professionals work, they work with customer names, phone numbers, their email addresses, even also their physical home addresses or work addresses as well. And that also confidential, and employee information, salaries, performance notes, personal notes, and contracts, pricing, bids, invoices, strategies, roadmap, and then also source codes. We should also talk about source codes as well, right? Most of the time, nowadays, a lot of developers, and not only developers, everybody is getting into writing code, right? And they also paste a lot of source codes and system details as well. And most of the companies, they treat source code as intellectual property.
So not even a small snippet of what I use in day-to-day life, right?
Yep. Even a small snippet, like it can contain clues, right? A name, like a name plus a project plus a date can identify like a real deal, right? A real client and a real person.
Interesting. So what if I like what if I cover it or remove those snippets like sensitive information like names and everything?
Yep, that's better, but still you have to be very careful because sometimes the content itself is enough to identify the situation.
So in practically, if I use ChatGPT, I'm chatting with an AI on a private chat, a one-to-one chat. So isn't it safer?
Yep. So you could do some tweaks when you do that, like when you interact with AI. Like instead of like you could use John Doe for a name, John Pereira from company X, and you can use a client A. And instead of like using Q3 pricing table, just say a pricing table or inside you can, without pasting raw data, describe the structure. Like I have a table with 3 columns: date, category, amount, etc. You know.
Hmm. Okay, so you are telling me that I can use AI in my workspace and share certain information with it to make my work easier. But can you like make it pinpoint or specific on what I don't have to do when it comes to AI and using AI in a safer manner?
Yep. So like that assumption is kind of risky because different tools have different settings and they have different policies, privacy policies, and sometimes they use customer data or the data we share to train their models. And most of the time, their policies and the transparency we get into those tools, it's kind of shady, right?
So you are telling me that I should use AI at my work and be careful with it, right? Basically, what you are telling me to be careful with what I'm sharing with my AI. So what if I ignore everything? So what could go wrong?
Yep. So, like most of the time, people assume that AI, like the interface that you work with, it's like a secure vault. It's not. So you should treat it like an external service. And if you're unsure whether your company approved it, don't use it for sensitive work content.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Valid point. So honestly, Kanishka, as a habit now more than ever, I don't know how I started this habit, but I always go to a AI chatbot for a lot of things, right? So when I use all those AI things, I don't think about the question like, is it okay to share this information with this AI? Is it okay to, or is it not okay to? So you're telling me that I just have to start a habit of asking, like questioning everything with the sense like, is it okay to share this work information? Is it approved by work, right?
Exactly, exactly. Right now, like lot of organizations, they brought AI into the employees and professionals' life, right? So, and those organizations, they have own policies and fair usage of how we can use this AI and you know into our day-to-day lives and day-to-day work related things. Um, yeah, coming to your question, the like if there is like if there's something like approved and if there is a tool uh, where your organization introduced to you, I believe like it's pretty um, straightforward. You could directly use that. Sometimes um, they also have some kind of like guidelines similar to what we are talking right now to like not what not to do, what kind of things not to share into AI platforms. I believe that most of the time they talk about personal things, salaries and budgeting and very sensitive information for each organization. So it's different from organization to organization.
Hmm. Correct. But I also need to add some inputs here, Kanishka. So those AI tools, like it's not the same like we used to when we start to using those tools, right? I think it's not more than like 2 to 3 years ago we started using ChatGPT. Then there were a lot of, or there are now in the market is flooded with various AI tools like Gemini, Claude, Grok, and etc. Because of these tools are getting more competitive with each other, they are adding additional features, right? Back in the day it was like we are copying a text and pasting it to, let's say, ChatGPT and asking questions, right? So but now if we are copy pasting, I think there is the barrier of I can think whether this is okay to paste here, right? But with the development of these technologies, now it's more than easier to share like more sensitive documents, right? In sense of documents, like we can fully upload a document and ask questions based on those documents, right? So for example, I can share like a PDF Excel sheet and ask certain questions from it, right? This is a kind of a huge risk, right? Because if in an organization, most of the life, like 99.9% of the time, documents are internal, right? Those documents are meant to share inside the organization. But if we download a document and put it into a chat or chat GPT kind of a generative AI platform, is like really break the barrier when it comes to security, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's a huge risk point. So right now, exactly as you mentioned, like it is pretty much easy. The user experience and everything is pretty much straightforward when it comes to uploading files, right? Even right now, they have the option for us to connect our cloud storages as well, right? So which us giving full access to our pictures, videos, and stuff like that, right? So it's pretty streamlined and straightforward process, right? So, and when we drag and drop those files, so if you're talking from a work specific lens, so it might include contracts, customer spreadsheets, internal reports, HR documents, and also exported data from systems. So those data might include some personal identifiable information as well. So that's a huge risk point that you mentioned.
That made me realize, like, back in the day, let's say I have a PDF that I need to summarize. Those AI tools did not support document uploading or anything. I had to copy paste everything. That was an annoying thing. Imagine like a PDF with like 20 to 30 pages. I had to copy and paste it into, let's say, ChatGPT. But now it's super easy. I just had to drag and drop. The doubt I'm having here, Kanishka, these technologies are evolving. It's making things easier day by day. But how can we, like, what do you call, if sharing those documents and internal documents regarding to your organization is bad, but let's say I genuinely want to get some information from a document, what would be the most safer approach, or is there a more safer approach?
Um, Yeah, when it comes to copy pasting or uploading a document, you could like specifically ask from that AI like template. Give me a generic report structure for a weekly update, and you could fill it by yourself. And also, you could add non-sensitive information and remove the sensitive part. And you could then use that during using of these AI tools. The thing is, like as previously we discussed, like most of the workspaces have introduced the tools. They have their own policies regarding what kind of information that we could upload, and sometimes these workspace policies, they have already integrated some storages which have lots of information and already they have access to it. So if you are like thinking about uploading a file, you could also think about the classification of that information, right? So sometimes your organization that you're currently working, they have a information classification policy which allows that AI tool, to access certain files. And sometimes the file that you are thinking about uploading, it might have a classification, right? So if it is confidential or high confidential, something like that, you could always refrain from uploading it. Other than that, if it is for internal purposes, I believe you could get some help.
So I'm not trying to like really find a way to use AI at work, but hear me out. Let's take this example. So I have a legal document. By all means, I'm not a lawyer. I have zero knowledge regarding contracts and things that I should need to be looked at when it comes to contracts and everything. So I have a contract that I need to review. Let's say, so this is 100% out of my scope. I have no idea about this document. So at the same time, I don't have an idea about what are the things I should not be shared with a third party, right? Like phrasing a third party in these scenarios, let's say it's AI tool, ChatGPT. If I'm what like at the bottom, what I want is to share my contract with ChatGPT and confirm that there is no anything that might harm me or my career in future. Basically, a decision making. What do you think about it? I can use it, right?
Yep, like don't let AI decide the final decision, right? You can use it to help you think. You can to brainstorm ideas and research some ideas because it had lots of speed access to resources for which is available on the internet. So you could always like use it for to help you think, but do not let it decide it for you.
That's a good insight, actually. So let's say what you're saying is like to use those tools as just only as a tool, right? it's not the mainstream. It should not be the one that take credits or accountability when it comes to decisions in our lives, right? When it comes to work or personal, both.
Yes, exactly. There's a really good example there. So, we use calculators, right, to do mathematical things. And most of the time, we don't even remember, we don't have to remember the uh, tables or anything like that, right? So we just use it right away to multiply, divide, and lots of things, right? That's a tool for us to help to get things faster. Use that same technique and apply it in using AI as well. You could use it to get things done faster. If you need to, back in the day, if you need to do some research, we need to read whole web pages. We need to find those web pages by clicking it, and we need to browse through the internet, and we need to refer lots of documentation, which takes a lot of time, right? So you could always like use it AI right now to do the research so faster. It right now it reduces that time in a huge margin, right? So you can definitely go and validate those information and get it done right away. So it's a matter of how you're using this tool instead of depending your human capabilities.
Hmm. Yeah, as I dig deep into these AI thing I realize is not actually realize, it's actually a theoretical thing. Let's say I'm asking, okay, I'm showing you my two hands, both hands. So I'm asking from you, what is the bigger hand, what is the smaller hand, right? So you tell me an answer. So I can question from you like, why did you answer that? How was your thinking when it comes to the answer? From the question to the answer, what was you thinking? How you decide the final answer and everything, right? But the thing I realize is, Majang, we actually 100% we don't understand how they make the final decisions. It's kind of a black box thing. There is a term called black box when it comes to AI. It's not like a basic for not basic question. If you ask like a really complicated one, it will not reveal how it got the answer. So my point is, we can't 100% guarantee that the things that those chat interfaces are outputting to us are 100% accurate, right?
Exactly. The tool always can be wrong. Like it can be outdated and it can invent details, right? So um when it comes to your exact example, right, to decide like which hand is bigger, that's that same thing like can be applicable when it comes to getting advice or learning stuff from AI. Because have you heard about the term Uda, like garbage in, garbage out? If data, even us humans as well, like, if we keep input or consume garbage, the garbage is going to come out, like from our behavior and thinking and everything else. So same thing is going to happen from AI as well. So most of the time, these this AI, they train using lots of data from social media, right? And not sure how accurate and how up to date and those data or information are. So, and we tend to like trust the output as soon as we it from see it from a display, right? And we don't, the AI doesn't have a context about the actual situation or scenario as a thing that we need to get advised, and it just shows us a lot of information, and we tend to take it on the face value. So, and we ask information about laws and regulations and workspace policies, technical instructions and numbers, historical claims. So you can always verify it.
Yeah, understood. So this is interesting conversation. So with the information that we talked so far, I'm asking you like, what is the golden rule that we can follow or our listeners can follow when it comes to using AI at work?
Yep, like you could use three steps, right? So one is pause before you send or publish, then check critical facts against a trusted source. You always get, or you can always request the resources, right? Because sometimes when we ask or when you give a prompt, the AI suddenly, at a glance, generate information, and without giving any resources, how to support that response, right? So we could always request for a validation saying, all right, could you validate it from the external resources? So for that, it will provide you with the resources that it used for that particular prompt, for the response. And then you could actually visit those resources and check exactly who wrote it, when was it written, and whether the site is a legitimate site which has a lot of traffic and which is being used by a lot of people and approved by a lot of people. So you could always validate it. Sometimes the information that it provides, sometimes it can from be a research paper, right? So then that's really good because research papers are reviewed and published in a really good manner. So you could always consider that information as valid, right? So you could always check those critical facts against a trusted source and also edit to match your real context and tone. Just don't take it from face value, copy and paste it, and face the consequences.
That's an interesting insight when it comes to using AI. Another, like the way I realize it, if you're using AI at work, you have to be more, what do you call, with more common sense, right? For example, don't paste passwords, right? Don't copy internal messages and put them to a chat. Not even like a meeting notes or anything, right? I'm correct, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So there are lots of things, right? We most of the time the developers they paste API keys, secrets, and private links that grant access, and screenshots about some unreleased product and where it has all the information, right? The URLs, the username, passwords, and stuff like that. So you could always like think about like you could always describe what you need to get it done and get the response right away, right? Because you don't have to if you're really lazy to even do that, then I don't think that's going to help you in the long run, right?
Hmm. That's a really good point. Another thing, like we use AI to make our lives or our day-to-day life easier, right? But sometimes I have seen like lot of fake information. Like it's really easy to generate fake information now more than ever. You don't have to have like Photoshop skills or video editing skills. You can like Gen AI, it, right? Use generative AI to generate certain things. So what do you think about this? Like when it comes to work, like how we can limit or it's better if we are not using those things.
Yeah, exactly. Like, please don't use AI to create fake evidence or impersonate people. Like, you could request it to write an email as it if it came from your manager, and you could always generate fake meeting minutes that change decisions. Likewise, don't do that because I believe I saw something relevant a couple of months back. I think it's a Keels for Food City bill, which was generated by ChatGPT or something like that. So, like a Sri Lankan person gave a prompt to generate a legitimate looking bill. So, hoping that it could someone could reimburse it, providing as proof, right? So it's a really bad way of using it.
Yeah, there are actual use cases for like generative AI to be pretty useful. Like, for example, for like more critical work, you can use Gen AI to fill up the blank spots when it comes to images or videos. Those things were meant to use in a way that are helpful to us. But the thing is, the human factor adding into those tech, and we are using those tech exactly the opposite way that was built to, right?
Yeah, so the people always tend to find a loophole and to abuse the actual usages of things.
That another small advice from me to our listeners, to our audience, like if it feels like a shorter way to just use AI for a certain task, think twice.
Exactly. You could always use your brain, right? Because this couple of years back, we didn't have this type of tools and things. We tend to get it done. And right now, I believe like because of generating most of the time content using AI, we see lots of posts on social media, which is generated by AI, and the people comment to those posts using AI. I'm pretty sure like they just copy, paste it, and type in a comment and get the comment. It's like AI is interacting with AI, and they train all this stuff. It's like a never-ending cycle, right? And it's tend to leave our important human element behind, right? So
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. Exactly. At some point, this is something I'm really afraid of. It might blur the line between what is real and what is not. When it comes to
Yeah.
news and information, that's like scares me. Like the AI, generative AI things are really good nowadays and they are constantly improving. So let's talk in another episode regarding what lies ahead to us, right? So this is really good conversation, Anushka. So let's wrap this up. For a listener that was a bit confused regarding the information we shared, or give me a quick checklist when it comes to using AI at work safely.
So if it is sensitive, don't paste it. If it is a file you would not share publicly, don't upload it. If it is a password or code, never. And if it affects someone's job, money, or legal outcomes, AI is not the judge. And if it is a fact, verify before using it. And if you are unsure, use placeholder and keep it general.
That's really good. That's really good advice, Kanishka. I think that those sentences are should be in like our what do you call work contracts, right? Like a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. You should put that in. The, so okay, Masha. So let's wind up today's episode. So of course, we are not asking you guys to don't use AI at work. Please use AI. It's like with AI, you should think more like a mechanic. I'm always saying this, like you should know what are the things or what tool is the correct tool for the correct place to use. So be aware, like have more common sense. Always think twice before doing anything at work with work information and your AI friend or sharing with your AI friend. Same goes with your personal information or personal life information. Same. So today's a really good episode, Macha. I gained a lot of insight. Like I always had the doubt. Like for example, today morning I realized something. Like I'm paying for a Gemini account, right? And also I have to mention something on using AI at work. Those common tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude Code, or anything, those are publicly available services. You can pay and get a premium account. If you're paying and you let's clarify this also. If you are paying for a certain subscription or certain service, that does not make you are in a more sandbox environment when it comes to using those AI tools. Those paywalls are like enhancing your capabilities with that AI. They are not making sure that you are or your information is much safer when it comes to AI. I'm correct, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. With that sense, I want to point out something, but it's something I do. I'm paying for like ChatGPT Go account. I use that account. I logged into my account. I use that on my personal work. And at the same time, I use that ChatGPT at my work. But luckily, at my workplace, they are providing me with like Microsoft Copilot, which is organization approved, right? Technically, those Copilot ChatGPT kind of chatbots are in a more sandbox environment. I'm correct, right?
Yeah, they say that they only train data within the that exact workplace.
Yeah. So, but we never know. But if your organization allows you to use certain AI tools, please use it. But nevertheless, be more cautious or be more considerate about the information you are sharing with a chatbot. Think twice. It's not a it's not your legal guardian, so it's not the decision maker in your life. Be considerate about that. Yeah, that's all we need to cover, right, Masha?
Yeah.
Again, I'm mentioning this again. You can check our episode at every major podcasting platform when it comes to audio podcast. We are releasing our video podcast on YouTube and we have a clip channels also. We'll mention those information in the below description of our episode. If you have any questions or if you need anything to be explained from us, since we both from tech industry and we have like almost 8 to 7 years of experience with tech. Oh, we are old, but we are getting really old. Again, if you need any clarifications or if you need to know about anything, just let us know. You can reach us at our LinkedIn or Twitter or just put a simple YouTube comment also. Okay, let's wrap up today's episode, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, I have to mention like if you learn something small, even a small bit, share this information, share our work with your friend, colleagues, and family, and whoever you please. Again, thanks for supporting us. Let's catch up with another episode, right?
Yeah.